thank you for filling in the rest of Christie's term before the election, and we're excited that you are able to run unopposed, and we can likely welcome you to the board next month.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thanks. Thank you.
So excused tonight is Doug Bowman. He's not feeling well, and I believe Marilyn and Dana should be here shortly, but I have not heard from them. So, did anybody have questions about the minutes? Anybody not review them? I was able to review them.
I was, but very, very recently, so I just had some spelling corrections that I sent
Yeah.
on my way out the door.
So, I mean,
Yep.
if everybody doesn't have any opposition, I will take the corrections I received, which was at least 3.
Yep.
And, prepare them and,
So should make a motion to accept the minutes of the March meeting with the spelling correction submitted,
Well,
or can we not do that?
I don't think we're ready for a motion yet because if not everybody had the chance to read them,
Oh,
who's present tonight. I mean, you didn't get a chance to read
No,
them.
but I wasn't there, so it didn't.
Yeah. I clarified the grant
and
funding
she
a
wasn't
little bit.
there.
Well, she wasn't a board
She's
member.
not
She was
a board
there.
member, so she can't really,
yeah.
Yeah.
so it'd be the 3 of you who reviewed them.
But then three's not a quorum.
Yeah, I almost
Okay.
like.
And, Marilyn never reads them, nor does Dana.
Yeah.
So we're kind of stuck on that.
Well, why don't we see if we have a quorum later, and then we
Okay.
can come back to it. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe we can wait till we have a quorum next meeting.
Okay.
But likely, I'd just like to pass over it for the moment.
That's fine.
All right. So, do you have bills for us to?
I
take a
do.
look at?
So this is warrant 44, which is the current month, about $4,000 in mostly books and educational supplies. New York Times bill, some supplies from Koopman Lumber, Apple Tree Arts program. We had a ukulele program, and staples, some office supplies. That's it. So these can be signed. I'll start them over here with Martina. If you have any questions, Danielle, about who the vendors are, I'm happy to answer them. You can also look through the invoices.
All right.
And then I sent out by email warrants 43, 42, 41, and 40. I think we might have looked at last time. So I have them if you all, so I'll need a motion to approve.
So 40, 41,
40, 41, 42, 43.
43.
And we have 44 with us.
And tonight, 44.
44. Yep.
So for Daniela's benefit, we voted as a board for Beth to be able to sign them, but we still have oversight to review them every month. It's just that getting enough trustees to sign it throughout the month, sometimes would delay the billing process. So we gave her the authorization to do that. Anybody else have anything to add?
That summed it up pretty accurately.
Yeah. Okay, great, thanks. Okay,
Are these things I need to sign in here?
No,
Okay,
nope, because they've already been submitted.
okay, perfect.
so I think I briefly mentioned membership, so we can skip over that. That was Daniela filling in for that term, so thank you. So we can move on to ongoing business, but I wanted to just pause for a moment. Oh, Carrie just walked out.
Oh,
She said she'll be right back.
Okay. I'm not sure what her timetable was because she had a few things that were going on tonight. So we may just want to give her the floor. You know,
You want to start with the grants till she comes back?
Yes,
sitting-
absolutely. Yeah, we can continue on. So Beth.
we have some exciting news, which is that MBLC had leftover money after they did their grant distributions for the libraries that are in process from the very last grant round. So these are libraries who got their approval 10 years ago and finished building in like 2016 and are still getting some monies back. So they're giving us $460,000 ahead of schedule because we are considered under construction, and the town, on an act of good faith, said, yeah, we'll borrow the money and start early to save some cash. So they proposed it at their April board meeting. It was approved, and then they sent over 3 contract documents, a formal contract with the state, our assurances, which we had to agree to apply for the grant. Things like we would go through public procurement and follow all the legal things that we need to do to get the money. That we would submit reports, that MBLC has final say about the design and all that kind of thing. And then they also had to have a signatory page where they did a notarization of signatures of anybody authorized to sign contracts. And I think they put myself, Anita Patel, and Tim and Sargon Hannah on that list. So it took 2 board meetings to get all those documents taken care of, but they were scanned to MBLC and they got wet in the mail yesterday. And I think as long as they receive them by the end of the month, which they should, they went priority mail, we should get a check before July 1st for money to, which will just about offset what we've paid out so far in OPM services, clerk of the works, architectural service fees, that kind
So,
of stuff.
so we're not anticipating a surplus. This is reimbursement.
Exactly. So they'll deduct $460,000 from our first 20% reimbursement payment.
Yeah.
They may, I mean, it might be more of a deduction because we might get some more money at the end of the next fiscal year too. It just kind of depends on that bill getting authorized, money getting redistributed to the libraries in process. Because technically we're still on the waiting list and we're holding it the place that we are on the waiting list. So there's libraries ahead of us that need to get funding, but because we've moved ahead. We're not moving up in the waiting list, we're just kind of getting some windfalls from leftover money that'll get deducted from those first payments.
Right, so we're getting the same amount of money.
Yes.
It's just that now we don't need to borrow it, or the town
Yeah,
is getting.
I don't know that they've borrowed yet. So, and like I said, we've had bills coming in and, yeah,
That's great.
so just about offset it. It's really exciting.
So, I thought the initial number was 400.
It might have been initially the
Yeah.
$400 estimate, but they procured 460,000 and that was what was on the contract. I double checked it before I left.
So,
Yeah.
so you had some interaction with the Board of Selectmen to at least sign off on this, right?
Actually just only through email because I wasn't available those 2 dates in April to show up when it was
Yeah.
my kid's birthday.
Yeah.
And another week I was in class.
Yeah.
So I just email correspondence between myself and the town administrator's office to get it done. Cindy Ide was hugely helpful. And I think Andy was available at one of the meetings to answer questions as well because he goes frequently to report on DPW and our project.
Okay. My last question is, do we know where we are with procuring the loan from the banks?
I do not know.
Okay. I figured since it was topical about monies for the library,
Yeah.
that there may be some action on that.
I don't know.
How do we follow up and how do we support the library on that?
Probably Doug, who is on the building committee, should ask Andy at the
Yeah.
next meeting, which is Monday, May 6th, May 7th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the calendar is. Our next Monday meeting,
Yeah.
what the status is, because they had said that, that they were gonna be doing it in April. So by the time town meeting came around, they had balanced the accounts. Because they were basically deducting from an account with no money in it on the premise that money would be coming in from somewhere. Which they do every time we have a grant, it's the total normal fiscal procedure. The promise of the money is good enough. You get an official letter and,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Any other questions, comments for Beth, or do you have anything to add?
Just, we are in process of moving. Was following the original construction schedule. We are a little bit behind because we had some delays with schematics, making sure MBLC was satisfied, and then making sure the architects got paid. And now we're, I thought planning board and conservation, some of the approvals that we need to get were one-time meetings. But they're not. It's like go once and hear what you have to do, and then come back and present, and then they'll give you more questions, and then you have to go back. So, yeah, so we've been to planning board twice. I think there's another meeting, conservation commission once, and we have to go to another meeting. We still need to sit down with Mass Historical District and our local historic district commission to make sure that they're on the same page for how the exterior of the building should look. And then we also have the building inspector who's helping us with ADA compliance and his own sign off for the project. So it's probably going to be a little longer than we thought when we made the plans to move and procure the lease before we actually break ground. But we're still having some health issues in the children's room, and St. Andrews is a bigger space and a newer space, and we'll actually have a program room to use over the summer. We figure we're ready, we have the timeline, we advertised it, let's just move and go. So the building may be empty, which would give an opportunity for some fundraising. events to be held in that empty space as we gear up for summer.
Perfect.
Yeah, because we'll still have lights and water and all of that. So moving is underway. Design documentation is nearly complete, and they're starting on CDs, the construction documents, next, which MBLC needs to approve, I think, at 50% of the process. And I met with somebody at DRA to start talking about interiors, so we could do some preliminary selection to bring to staff and building committee in the next month. And there's just a lot of meetings happening for all these approvals in May and June.
Beth, when are the movers coming to pack up and?
They dropped off boxes today, and they are coming back to meet with me on Monday afternoon. So they're giving us 3 or 4 days to finish. You know, we're not really moving things, but we're packing, we're weeding out stuff.
Are you packing? You're
We're
not
packing our desks,
Okay.
and doing some of the supplies, anything that's not already in a decent sized box. You know, like shoe boxes of children's craft materials. Those can go in a bigger box, but if there's a stack of bookmarks sitting on a bookshelf, those need to go into something else. Yeah. So we're doing that kind of stuff, making sure all the historical things are packed.
Okay, but you don't have to pack up all the books.
No.
Okay.
I only if it's in your desk area. So if you've got like a problem shelf of things that you're working on, waiting for issues to resolve with, those need to go into a box.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to interfile things into the collection, but they're gonna put everything on the 3rd floor in boxes, or crates of some kind, and bring those down the stairs. 2nd floor is gonna be like wheeled bookshelves, where they'll just take things and chunk them from shelf to shelf and then offload. And children's room, everything that's portable will roll onto the truck, and then they'll do the same thing with a rolling bookshelf for anything that's not. Most of the furniture's going, and anything that we're not taking with us, I think we're gonna have to discard, whether that's offer to other departments first, and then follow public auction, or scrap some of the metal shelving so that we can clear out the main reading room.
Very good.
I'm not sleeping. It's a very big project. Very stressed.
I actually didn't go sleep well last night either, because
Yeah.
thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Monumental.
Yeah. And then figuring out what to do with the staff, because we don't want staff underfoot. While we have, so we've got some professional development things lined up, and I would like goodies at those. So for our friends and trustees who like to bake or just want to buy some cookies at Market Basket or something,
Goodies.
some snacks to boost morale.
Well, where were they going to be?
It depends on the day and the training, but what I'll do is I'll send out a list before Friday.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're gonna do training provided by the municipal insurance agency at the police station or at the fire station, I think. Same
Yeah.
space.
If you let us know when and where, I think we
Thank
can
you. Thanks.
bring some things over,
Yep.
but otherwise I'll just be walking around.
Trying to
And then
find
I'll
out,
have
yeah.
to eat them, Beth.
Well, and then the movers will eat them, which, you know, we could bring cookies
Well,
for
we
the
can-
movers too.
yeah.
That'd probably be-
I need to let you know that, Lucky said, once you get into your new place, if you need some food one day, give a
Oh,
call.
thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said to please let you.
Yeah, I wish I planned ahead to do pizza today, but I didn't think of it. I just brought fruit and cookies today. So. They're
He said that he would feed you guys.
it's wonderful.
Oh, that's
Okay, we'll take advantage.
Okay, so do you need any support from the board? Because, I mean, this is all very exciting stuff,
Yeah.
but we're very much hands-off at
Right.
this point, yeah.
The only place I foresee possibly needing support is I did hire air quality testing.
Yeah.
And I asked them to be on site Monday to make sure that there is not mold in that church. And I don't know what happens if we find mold in the church.
It smells like mold. It
Yeah.
hits you the minute you walk in.
Yeah.
Has it had a good cleaning?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Is that in the
It's
works before you
scheduled,
move
but I
in?
don't have a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the mold testing going to be done after the cleaning?
No, we're gonna do it first.
So this is just
I want a
this
baseline.
is just toxic mold, right?
I have no idea.
Well, this is what we're testing for. I mean, if
Yeah.
it smells musty, I mean,
Right.
but
It smells.
it's safe.
It smells
Yeah.
damp.
Yeah.
It smells moldy.
But hasn't been used in
That's true.
years.
But it
so-
smells awful.
Well, I have no doubt it's disgusting, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's.
So, you know, we're gonna open windows and the HVAC's been running, but we wanna get a baseline and we may bring them back to test again, because they also wanna test carbon dioxide to look at ventilation. And they said the most accurate way to do that is to do it when the building is occupied. So again, they can get a baseline with nobody in there, but then we'll have to have them come back. And it should be paid for out of the project, not the library budget.
Oh,
And we have some money to pay for it, so it won't fall on me.
yeah. And hopefully it's safe, just needs to be circulated.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said
Alright.
the support you might need is regarding the air quality testing,
Yeah.
which means the money from the trustee accounts for that.
Support it. If it is not safe, then we can't open.
Yes, I see.
And then we need a very quick plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it will be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, call us, send out an emergency text as soon as you know.
Yeah, I may need, I think that I do need help, with additional computers because, you know, we're gonna be spending about $11,000 to wire that building so that we can have our phones running and our computers running. I feel like I need to add 2 laptops so that we can provide 2 we have a teen space now. And I need 2, iPads or similar to use as online public catalogs because the
Are
computers.
these things that we can use in the new building?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
they are. So,
Not the wiring project.
no, the wiring project's covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm getting near the end of my budget cycle. I only have about $300 left in equipment, and I need to buy a printer with it.
Okay.
So I would like to spend up to $5,000 on of state aid money on 4 computers, 2 laptops, and 2 iPads.
What do we have in our state aid budget?
$71,000
71?
or so. Yeah.
So do you want a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is this an iPad or laptops?
It's two of each. So I want
You want
iPads
2
that are going to be
iPads.
touch screen to use to search the catalog, 1 in children's and 1 in adult. And then I have a third one that I already have that's old, but that will
And
work.
then you want
2 laptops for teen
two-
space.
Do you have some ballpark numbers?
I did not have any time to go and do. No.
So we would do it,
I-
make a
I
motion
think-
to not exceed.
To not exceed. I believe it's about $700 for an iPad, and that's
So
not
that'd be
even the top of the
14.
line.
And
And then
what
at
are the
least I
laptops?
we liked Dell and Lenovo business class,
So
and those are usually around 1,200.
a piece,
Yeah.
so 24.
Yeah.
So you're talking
So 4,000 maybe?
38,
Yeah.
not to exceed 40,000
4,000.
or 4,000. 4,000?
Yeah. I don't know if that will include software and
5,000.
everything that I need
Right.
to.
You would-
That's why
Not
I would like the
5,000?
cushion.
Not to exceed 5,000.
Yeah, I would like the
All right.
cushion because I may need to purchase software or locks for them or cases for them and, you know, peripheral equipment.
Okay.
I don't know how to attach the iPads to the wall, so it's going to require some equipment.
Just, all that gives me a head, it's like Greek words.
Yes.
I move that we allow Beth to spend up to $5,000 from state aid to purchase 2 laptops and 2 computers
And supporting
Peripherals.
peripherals.
and peripherals.
iPads as well. She's mentioned.
Yeah, she meant,
Yeah.
What did I say?
you said
Yeah, you said
iPads.
iPad.
No, you said computers and laptops. I think.
So laptops and iPads and peripherals,
And peripheral
not to exceed 5,000.
from state aid.
That's good.
I second.
1 second, please.
I already did give you 1 second. I seconded.
So can I add, I do have an employee who I'm particularly concerned about her allergic reaction. And if I have an additional laptop, I can set her up in the kitchen. There's no wiring, so she
So
would
you
have to
need
get a laptop.
3?
I don't know that I need 3. But if I can get a third one for under that cost, if I do need it,
So you want me to
can,
put,
yeah, can we say up to 3 laptops and 2 iPads for the
Just
$5,000?
Just up to
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah, I
However
think
you
that I
need
can
to
get
spend
everything that
it.
I need for that cost.
And then
but
if it goes over that, then you'd have
then
to
I'd come back.
come back and ask for some more money.
Yep.
so does everybody,
Yeah, I think the motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on the?
that was a
Building.
new business.
Is
That-
Terry coming back?
Yeah.
yeah.
She
That's-
said she
That's new
was.
business.
So was that it on MBLC?
What?
Was that it on MBLC?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Next building committee is Monday the 6th.
6th. The 5th.
at 6 o'clock.
Do they have a posted agenda?
I think that we posted it like 2 weeks ago because it doesn't change very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for an updated computer rendered schematic. They did all of the other stuff for the document design, but I just still have a hand drawn. This is where the desks are mapped. So,
Where do they post the agenda on the? site?
Grafton-ma.gov, and then you go to boards and committees.
Okay.
It's library planning and building.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Anything else? The budget review.
I did not send out a budget review, but I did meet with Anita Patel, our accountant, and she said that she was concerned that I was going to go over in personnel because we've continued to have temps fill in.
Yep.
So I do have Sarah going out on workman's comp and earning only like 40% of her pay. I have Jan going out for 2 weeks with no pay because she has fabulous vacation opportunities.
What happened to Sarah?
She fell in the parking lot 2 years ago
So this
because
is
it wasn't
still
ice.
from Beth?
Yes. She needs additional surgery.
Wow.
Yeah. So that'll help cover some of it, but I still feel like I should move some money from, I thought that we were going to be all set, but after meeting with the accountant, I think that I should move some money from the building and maintenance budget because I haven't had to expend all of that to put into personnel so I can continue to cover. Programs and
Last year, you had asked if some staff would mind taking some time off without pay. Would you do that? Did we do that?
I don't think I've ever done that. I would never do that.
'Cause
I have people who do
They
it,
flexed
but-
themselves.
yes, but it was never at my request.
Okay. Would that
Yeah.
be an option if someone wanted to take a day or two without pay?
I suppose, but I wouldn't want to ask anybody to do that.
Okay.
And we couldn't spare them. I need to cover the desks.
Well,
And I now am spread out in a bigger space.
Well, I meant in this 3-week.
Oh, right
period.
now, yeah. Some people are using leave time. But no, everybody depends on that salary.
Okay.
Pay
I
their
just
rent.
was wondering.
Yeah, Jana's the only one in the position to be able to say, I'm good. I can take it off without pay and go to Vietnam and Italy.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I have 2 people taking vacation. Susan is somebody else also scheduled for carpal tunnel surgery.
That's not,
But-
is that library related?
I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, so I already have people, hi Dana, using some leave time.
Okay. So in regards to the budget, then you believe you've got it worked out.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and when she gives me the end of April one, I'll send it out for everybody to see.
Okay.
Very good. Any other comments? Thank you. Okay, we are on to project updates. Dana Wilson.
Really great news.
Put that in the spot, but if you're ready, we can.
We're ready.
Okay, excellent. Let's
I heard some fantastic news. Is that the schematics are finished,
Oh, really?
and Mr. Doug sent me some today, and I looked at them. They looked okay to me. I'm going to see if they work, and then the only other thing I need to do is to double check with Miss Beth and see if she could send me the square footage for the upper and the lower floors, because we looked through 117 pages of architectural drawings and they
that's
weren't
what
on there. So if
I-
you can have
I
them.
have it and it hasn't changed.
Okay, well, if you could send me that so I don't mess it up. So then, so that's the good news, and it continues. We're gonna, we're meeting next week, because I think things are quieting down next week for everybody. And then we're gonna make our plan for May and April, May and June and July and the summer. So it sounds to me like the groundbreaking may be in early summer or July, I'm not sure. So,
June, hopefully by July.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean, that's good, I mean, that's fine with us.
We'll want to advertise it and invite people, and it's okay.
No, we're gonna take advantage of that, so when that is ironed out, please let me know, so, so then we'll really get rolling, so, and it's gonna really help us once we hit that the shovel in the ground. So, and then the fact that we remove, the building's closed and we're moving.
Well, the building's closed. It will have lights, and bathrooms, no furniture, but it's a fundraising opportunity for Capital Campaign or Friends to have an event in the space, the old space.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we gotta really focus on what works, so we'll look into that. We might be able to use it, but you're gonna be, when do they start the actual building of it? And
So-
making things messy and stuff.
After the groundbreaking, so end of June, it's gonna be a while.
Okay,
Because we still have planning and
All right,
lots
that's
of,
good.
yeah, lots of
Okay.
approvals to go through
all right.
still.
Well,
Now
okay.
the document design is done.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And then I guess, have you updated the board about the other good
Money.
news? Because
Yeah.
that's really gonna be terrific.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that. That's what I was thinking. Really doesn't get much better than this. I'm really excited, So we're gonna be moving along, and Doug has got to rest. But we'll be meeting next week, and then we'll figure out how we get everything done that we need to get done. So I'm, and finally, it's good. And spring's coming. It's great. We'll have a great next couple months. We'll get our calendar filled. So I'm excited, very excited about it. And congratulations on getting that's the 460,000.
Yeah.
That means a
Thank
lot to everybody, so you know, because that shows that the Mass Library Board of Commissioners believe in us. And that doesn't always happen. I mean, it's not always that easy to get when there's extra money. They have choices to make. And it's because our Board of Selectmen and our town has been they've been so on the mark and on the go and getting ready. And I really applaud Tim McInerney for really pushing that, because he even said to me when I saw him last week, he said, I'm really pushing it. I'm like, I know he's pushing it. That's why we got what we got. So that's only going to help us. It really, it really helps us. I mean, couldn't be in a better situation to say we almost have almost $500,000 that was given to us. So that we can pay some of our early bills. So it's great. So it just means there's a lot of confidence in the project. So I'm really excited, thrilled. I really am.
Any comments, questions for Dana regarding the Grafton Public Library Capital Campaign? Maybe just a brief overview for Daniela's
sure.
benefits.
Well, we thought, well, one thing that we've always wanted to do is have a new library, but what we've been very lucky in this town is that the town's really supported the library, and so has the citizens. So what we did is, we were talking about how to do this. We wanted to raise money, so we developed a 501c3 group a couple years ago, and I developed that, and we got that going, and there's a group of committee people that are on that committee. And then basically what we're doing is, the way that the 501c was written and developed is that it will last, it's going to be forever. It's for any renovation or construction that has to do with the library. So it's anything that's physical things for the library. So now what we're doing is we're working hard to get some donors in, and we're off to a good track record here. We have the Friends have given a lot of money, and so has the Trustees, because we've been saving for this for years, and both entities said, hey, it's time, we're going to give. So they've done that. And then we have some other individuals that have. And prior to this, in 2011, we were working on it. Mr. Hank Puller, who was a trustee and beloved member of the community, he worked on it too. So we have some things that he's left. We have some notes here and there, and we're working on it. So he had a nice legacy. So we're really we're steaming ahead. So it's really for the library. It's so that the monies can be used to basically for a couple things. It will decrease the amount of monies that the town has to spend, and also if there's projects, there are some people that would like to do a project that's out of the scope of what we've got, of the grant monies and what's been planned for the library. So there's some individuals really like that idea, so they're going to donate they're going to give us money and say specifically, we'd like you to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And we wouldn't have done that because we didn't plan for it. We couldn't get everything we wanted in the library. So there's things like artwork and, patios and gardens and things like that were extra. So it's really, it's going to end up being I think it's going to be a really great move on our part, because we might as well try to get it, might as well try to get the library as good as we can. You know, because I know it's gonna be, we know the circulation's gonna go up incredible, and we're just gonna be, it's gonna be phenomenal. So kinda now's the time to do it.
Right.
So, anyway, I guess that's it. I mean, we'll be giving you more updates. It's kind of strange because a lot of this is confidential, but we can tell you our progress, and we'll be asking specific people to come out on meetings with us when we meet with donors. And as time goes on, we'll probably broaden it out, but we're starting with the larger donors, and then we'll get it more, you know, grassroots as we think, you know, suits it.
So I think there's some synergy there with advocacy too, right? Because if we know who our super supporters are, especially people who are very prominent in town, you know, that was the bookmark idea that Martina and I picked up on from one of our, you know, mass trustee meetings. And, you know, if we could get a quote and somebody happy to speak, you know, a prominent member of the town, that we could put on promotional material.
To advocate for the library.
Yeah, just to have his bookmarks to hand out.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some for the capital campaign, we think. Because when we print the brochure, we might as well do it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
economical.
When you're ready to do that, you know, connect with Martina and I.
We can share the ideas.
Okay.
I put pictures in that document, the
Yes.
Google Doc, yeah.
Okay. So we have Carrie Hogan. Hi. How was your time frame tonight to speak with us?
I'm good now, so
Okay. Great. So next on the agenda is the brochure.
Yeah, where's that at? George's?
Oh, the
Got
brochure?
the schematic now.
Well, I can't, as soon as give me a couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much it's finished. We just need to put the right schematics in and change some of the edits. And then we'll just review it really one more big long time, and then we'll print it. I had to wait till we had the schematics. So,
So this is a trifold, right?
no,
No.
it's gonna be a beautiful, it's like this. It's gonna go like this, and it's really to give to donor, it's really for us to take to face-to-face meetings with our potential donors. So you're gonna open it up like this, it has a beautiful illustration on the cover. You open it like this, it's got some, I think there's some more illustrations, some information, you turn it like that, and then it has beautiful schematics of the lower and the upper. And you turn it once more, and it talks about why you wanna give. And then, we also gonna have some naming information.
Awesome.
So it's really meant, we're not gonna be sending it out, we're gonna take it and meet with people and discuss it and leave it behind with people who we really think wanna give money. And they're gonna be able to use it, they're gonna be able to see the schematics, we designed it like that, so they can actually see the floors. And we do like, we've listed some of the important areas, and then we also have it's gonna be coded with color, a little color to make it a little bit more interesting. And there's and then there's a construction photograph that we're using, that's the stock photography. So, but it's really not meant to be mailing, it really, because we wanna make sure that, we wanna sit down and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's kinda a conversation mover, is the idea.
Yeah, I remember the reason why I brought it up in that way was I remembered the DPW just had a trifold, and it was informational. It was good. It, you know, it got a message out to the public. But it's good that you described it in that way to know it's not quite the way you wanted to do it.
Yeah,
I think
that's,
that's a good idea.
yeah.
Excellent.
they did a beautiful, it's really very,
Thanks. We'll get it done. I mean, now we have it. I've been waiting. So it's good because now all the information, we're up to date. I mean, I'd rather have something that's accurate than not. So it's worth the wait. It's gonna get it. We'll use that. So
Okay.
Carrie helped on it too. She was very helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I got an update from Doug about the naming rights policy. He just said that it needs another round of edits before submitting to the board. But he said it should be ready for vote by the next meeting. Does that sound right?
Yeah, he sent it to me, and I thought we're gonna meet as a committee
Yep.
and look at it. Yeah, I go with that. I suggested that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Beth, IT update?
I covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, awesome. The wiring,
Yeah, wiring and
whatnot,
need for
yeah.
computers and.
yep, okay. All right, so the next I have a Friends update and discussion around the Down Under. So, you're welcome to grab a seat here with us.
I never sat on this seat before.
Yeah.
We used to be on that side. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know where I'm supposed to look. Over here, I suppose. I feel like I'm really in the
Wherever you look,
spotlight.
there's a camera.
You are in the spotlight.
Oh my goodness.
Are.
So, well, thank you for having me today. So I'm here to represent the Friends of the Grafton Public Library, and we just wanted to, kind of come forward, and we're so thrilled, that the library is getting ready for the renovation and expansion. Today was the last day of operations yesterday was the last day for operations, and today they were very busy packing away. So, and we'll be reopening the new location on Monday, May 13th. So. Lots of work ahead, but very, very excited. So, as everybody here knows, so of course we love our we love our library building. We're excited to have it renovated and expanded. The one thing that we were really, really fortunate with our current location is we had quite a bit of space for our Down Under, and not only was it good, for just kind of browsing, but it made us a lot of money. We would bring in typically about $6,000 a year. And of course, that money was used to help fund programs at the library, including the museum passes, Grafton Celebrates the Holiday programs, many, many programs. So what we just need to do kind of looking forward is think about how to ensure that we're able to do fundraising in the future efficiently, and try to bring in the money that the town has been come to expect and rely upon to kind of offset other expenses. So one of the things that we are a little concerned about with the new library is just the amount of space that we'll have for actual Down Under. It's just going to be, my understanding, a bookshelf. So yeah.
Let me see what I can.
I think it's great you're talking about this,
Yeah.
because I've had concerns.
Right, and
Yeah, and of course, I mean, we're partners with the library. We want to work with the library, and the goal is to make money for the library. So so we're at the same purposes, but we just wanted to make the board aware that the space clearly is not going to be as large as it has been in the past. So we will have to obviously consider different approaches to fundraising. So maybe there might be some semi-annual sales instead of kind of the ongoing large selection that we were fortunate enough to have up until this point in time.
Well, so we've known all along that the space was going to be cut down significantly. What, in your discussions at your friends' meetings, have you come up with any ideas?
We are always trying, including your son, we're always trying to come up with new ideas for fundraisers. We've done things like paint nights, just special events as well, looking at partnering with other organizations. Like Beth had passed on an idea that partner with Barnes and Noble to try and do fundraising. We've done fundraisers with Pepperoni Express, like so things like that. So yes, and if people have more ideas,
I have a
share with
thought.
them.
Well, but I meant
she's gonna say.
specifically, I'm sorry, I just meant specifically as far as Down Under. Have you talked about other options as to how we're going to continue to sell the...
No, we're concerned. That's why I wanted to.
Could I say something?
Let me just frame the discussion quickly, and then I'll give it over to you. So I attended the Friends meeting, this month, and just for a short time I was there, and they were concerned about the Down Under, and I said, well, we haven't had anybody from the Friends come and talk to us about this, and
Fair enough.
and we kind of knew that the space was going to be diminished, but I just didn't know that there was such a disconnect between the Friends and the Trustees, and that's something that we don't ever want to happen between the Trustees and the Friends, because we understand the value of the fundraising, but I was almost kind of like floored by that, and I wasn't comfortable responding to that during that meeting, just because I'll just say I almost feel like it's a little late in the game. Not that we don't want to try to figure this out, but I wish it was brought to our attention sooner, and that could have just been my fault for not attending many of the meetings. But I was kind of surprised by that there was such not an outrage, but just kind of like, how are we going to sell these books in the new space? So that's I don't know if that was a little too aggressive, but I just wanted to kind of frame the discussion like that's kind of what we're trying to address here, is make sure that the friends understand what they're getting, and that we do everything in our power to make sure that it's a proper space to do the Down Under store. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess. So we are, I mean, we understand, the space, that we've seen on kind of the, preliminary, see.
Yeah. So
And I don't know if it's I don't know, if these are the final plans?
Yes.
Or, okay.
they're not computer renders, and I'm sorry, I upgraded my computer. I have no idea how to make this
Where
rotate.
to look. Over here.
So from the building program, I mean, when I came, you can try, yeah. When I came in as director, I was pretty surprised at the amount of space that the Friends had that was taken away from the library service with no manpower in that space. There's no staff oversight in the current space. Things get stolen, unfortunately. People are donating things that aren't saleable. And it's come a long way. Aaron and Mary and the Polars, everyone who's contributed to make it really have nice, attractive material have been a huge help. But I feel like I've been talking about how the model needs to change, and that my understanding from my years working as a library consultant, working at a library that had 3 to 4 book sales a year, they took donations all the time, stashed them in a spot, and then would spend a week going through the materials, setting them up with volunteers and with Friends members, and then they would make about $2,000 a book sale. So I have felt confident, and thought I had expressed that confidence, that if your target is $6,000 a year, you're just not going to make it all throughout the year. You're going to make it in chunks. And then just so that you would still have some monies coming in, we're providing 90 linear feet of shelf space. And I don't know how many stacks you have now. You had 10,000 items in Down Under, and Aaron culled, and we're down to 0, except I started reading the library collection. So I am actually at the point where we're going to be moving books that are in decent condition for resale, but that aren't really relevant, or that haven't been circulating, that aren't useful to keep in our library circulating collection, that will go on display in St. Andrews when we move next week. So this space provides for a donation bin, which will have to be gone through by somebody, staff or friends, a large closet, and it's basically a closet, but it's a good sized closet. It's probably 12 by 16. Down here in the corner. And next there's a custodial room, and then next to that is a friend's room. You're not going to have an exterior exit. We're getting rid of that. But you've got a work counter and space to store books. So you could even have bins set up. So as you're going through the donations, you can put the cookbooks right away in a box. Fiction in a box, children's in a box, to make it easy when you haul your stuff out to this very large meeting room space to have quarterly book sales, to set it up quickly and break it down quickly. And then you've got the space to display and sell. We've been doing a Keurig. For some reason, the Friends turned that back over to the library a few months ago and said that they didn't want to have anything to do with it, and they wanted the library to collect the money in the gift account, the library's gift account, instead of turning it over to the Friends.
I don't recall that happening.
Yeah, Karen Carra did that at a Friends meeting a few months ago. And I said, okay, I guess, because they felt like they weren't making any money on it. 50% profit.
Yeah, if you could remind me, because
Sure.
I've been attending for the past year and I don't recall
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. So we said, all right, well, we've had this Friends Cafe in the library. So we set up this space besides the ongoing book sale and the storage space to have seating and to have vending and to have the Keurig machine in that location. And we have a library vendor who will work with us to provide things in these vending devices. It could be food, and I would like it if some of it was food, but also library branded pens, zip drives.
So will the vending
can be
machines
sold in that
be
space.
part of the building, I guess? Like I do.
Yeah. I talked
that's-
about all of this at a friend's meeting.
Well, where will they, can you show us? where-
Right, my mouse isn't working. Right where it says cafe, the E for cafe, straight across from that is vending.
Okay.
So,
But
And
are
then
the vending
how big is
machines
that
part of
cafe
the-
area?
so Beth, you're talking about this.
The whole square is about 25 by 20.
Is there room?
Cafe here, is that what you're talking?
But it's
Yeah.
seating, it's like it's, yes,
Is this vending here?
yeah.
So
Yeah, that counter.
was there a plan to have, and excuse me that I don't know this, was there a plan to have like, because I go to the Framingham Library a lot, and they sell a lot of books there, but they have a couple they have like book stands, and what I notice every time I go in, there's new books, they're gone. Like I could, every time I go in, I buy a couple, which I shouldn't, but they're there. But what I was wondering is, if it's right somewhere where people can see it, I was wondering if it moves quickly enough, will you make enough money?
I think so, but it depends
these,
on
you know,
the
well, you might-
friends to manage.
Well, you might have to like spend might have to be like $2 a book or something. I mean, because the books that I'm buying, they're like beautiful, and I'm sure I just don't know. But is there a place for that there? Is there
Again,
like a long?
there's 90 linear feet. You can do whatever you want with it. You can buy books that are on kids' summer reading list at 40% discount and sell them because you're a fundraising organization at full list price. We have patrons who've been asking for years to sell summer reading program T-shirts branded Grafton Public Library. The library can't do that, but the friends can, and you can make it really easy and put a rolled up T-shirt into a vending device and have somebody put in their card and get the T-shirt. And set whatever price you want for it. And it's a fundraiser. It's an ongoing fundraiser. So there's some really creative potential ideas. And the reason that so much of it is we're trying to make it self-service is because the staff are not actually allowed to handle friends' money. And we've been in the position of doing that, and it's not legal. So we need to find another solution that is legal. And I don't think the friends are going to be able to get volunteers to staff a space like this or a store 58 hours a week to run a retail store. If you can, then we can close it off and have it locked and you're only talking to a friends member and paying a friends member directly. But this allows self-service with either credit card or PayPal to purchase books, to purchase snacks, to purchase coffee, water, and anything else that you can sell to make money on so that you can still hit your $6,000 a year.
Because when I go to the Framingham Library, I give the money to the librarians. They take it. I give them checks or cash. I know they do it. Okay,
No.
so that was self-service.
Well, so clearly, it's a whole new paradigm. We'll, obviously, value your opinion, Beth, and as far as the vending, I think the vending's very exciting. So we're looking forward to receiving, more information about how exactly that would work. So thank you. One of the things that we did talk about, and kind of to answer your question, is we thought about the idea of maybe having like a movable shelf, like maybe in the children's area. But I don't know if that addresses your concern, Beth, about the actual, handling of money. If you don't want the staff to handle any money anymore, then, that kind of takes that that way.
There's no space. I mean, we're building a library that we reduced by 25% of the last design because the town didn't want to spend the money for it. And our cost at a 25% reduced footprint is 41% higher. So part of the reason that we don't have a computer lab and a permanent friends book sale is because we can't afford it. And we've been doing everything we could to keep it small and also to have really good oversight so that we don't have to add staff and further burden the town. There's no space. Like we're moving in, and even with weeding the collections and not growing the collections, we're not going to be able to expand to the 100,000, 120,000 items we should have in 20 years for a population the size of Grafton. And we talked MBLC down so that we could have fewer shelves, so we could make the whole building smaller to keep the size and the cost down. We don't even have really space for children's display in space.
So basically,
So we designated a specific area right as you go in the door to highlight our friends group.
so can the Friends continue to have some sales going on daily, just all the time like they do now? Will there be
In our
Friends-
temporary space, yes. And yes, in this space.
Okay, so
Yeah.
But
who collects?
But
the
it's not,
collecting the money, I guess you're saying,
Yeah.
is an issue.
we have to continue for the duration of the temporary quarters, but when we go to the new building, then I would not expect staff to be taking money for Friends materials at that point, because it will be all self-service.
Can I, so in Framingham, there's apparently still taking the money. Do you have any idea what Shrewsbury, Westboro, Northborough?
I don't.
Okay. I wonder if the Friends could maybe reach
Yeah, I
out
think
to
we'll
some
take
of
a
the
poll
other
of other
Friends.
locations, because I think that's a fair question. If it's a standard practice with all the other community libraries that they're not willing to have staff accept money for the sales, then I think that's reasonable for us to follow suit. But
Right.
if the rest of them are, then I would kind of question, well, why,
Yeah.
why are we
Right,
being?
but I think that would be great to know. I mean, especially Shrewsbury has their huge space. Westboro, I feel like they typically have like a very small section.
Yeah,
of
usually
books
like
on
by the
sale
front,
all the
Westboro's
time.
yeah.
Is
And then
um,
they have a big,
they're gonna get a new library too.
Right, but
Northborough
currently,
might be a good one to look at. 'Cause
But
that one-
currently, Westboro has a shelf.
right, but
in the
who's collecting
alcove
their
and then
money?
down in the room.
Yeah, I know.
But
They
who
have a
takes the money,
huge-
Beth? Do you recall? Like, because I mean, I don't imagine any of the other libraries have a permanent,
yeah.
Friends, member, able to,
Hey,
staff. I mean, we have, full other jobs that we have to do too.
Right.
We're
So I'm
all
just curious,
volunteers.
like, I mean, to your point, if all the other libraries are doing it, that's one thing. If the other libraries
Right,
have
like, if
come
all
up
the-
with
if
creative
it's-
solutions.
If we're if we're an
then maybe we
outlier
can-
and all the other libraries are doing it a different way, then clearly we need to
Yeah,
rethink how
so-
we're doing it.
I'm just curious as to what our surrounding towns.
Yeah, okay, so I'll
been
take that
able
as
to
an
work
action
out.
item to follow up with the surrounding community libraries and see, how do their friends do it? Because we've, been a little spoiled, with the past, so, we have to adapt to, I mean, it's a very good, this is a problem I'm very happy to have if it means that we have a beautiful new library, so, I won't be
Right.
too sad about it, but I just wanted, we wanted to just kind of communicate that, it is going to be, a different paradigm, and it is going to be challenging for its, and and the Friends have raised significant amounts of money, and people have come to rely on that, and we're going to obviously try to to continue to raise and hopefully improve upon that. But we just wanted to let the trustees know that we're a little concerned, but we we will work on getting there.
Yeah, it could be too. You might want to have a discussion about what you're funding. We are seeing museum pass use decline, and I went to a directors meeting a few weeks ago with other area directors, and they said we're just cutting passes. People aren't using them, and we've added a whole bunch because you've given us a generous budget. And the more passes we have has not resulted in more circulations. And the reason is if you go once to a museum with your family of 4 and you can take that cost that you spent for full price admission and roll it immediately into a membership. And for the cost of bringing your family twice, you can buy your own membership and now you don't have to
Well,
wait
certainly,
for the pass. So-
if you are able to
Yeah.
provide, if the library staff are able to provide the feedback to say, okay, this
Yeah.
pass was good, this pass wasn't. Clearly, if there's passes that aren't being used, then it's a waste of money. Let's
Yeah.
cut that and spend it on programming. So
Yeah,
so
we-
if you have a report on which passes are better than others, or
Yeah.
which ones that you suggest might not need to be renewed, I think that would be very welcome.
It may change too
we-
once you get into
we,
the new library though, because you can have more people.
We have had jurisdiction over that decision since the Friends agreed to not make me go and ask for funding requests. So that you just cut a check twice a year and we make the decision what we're going to purchase.
Oh, so you're just gonna?
Yeah, so
Oh,
we've already-
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you were asking.
No, we've already got, no, but what I was going to
No,
say
that's
was
not that.
it might turn out that now that we have program space, that the Friends are gonna maybe, instead of paying for museum passes, might want to pay for authors to come and then charge for,
So
like, we could
maybe
have charged for Ted
so
Ryan.
I guess to rephrase what you're saying, maybe that the money that the Friends give
Yeah.
you, that you use at your discretion to buy library passes or fund programs, that you might allocate the funds that we're providing a little bit differently going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, well, we might ask you to help pay for programs and charge for those programs as Friends fundraisers, as opposed to library programs.
Oh,
So it's just another,
good
we're talking
idea.
about paradigm
an
shifting,
excellent
right? So I'm
idea.
thinking, what we spend that money on, and activities might also change. I mean, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, and we've been open to things like
Yeah.
that, like the Lego ornaments is example where we help fund that.
Now,
Yeah.
as we shift into this new Friends book selling kind of thing, I know the book sales that I have been involved in were pretty much run by Gary, I think, with Friends support. report, or it was sort of different. I think going forward, if we're going to do large quarterly book sales, then it would be great to sort of have that kind of planned out. And then I won't be on the board, but I'd be more than happy to be a volunteer and help out at these
We
things.
would love to have you on the board as a friend. Yeah, come on over.
So,
Yeah.
you know, because again, if we're gonna do large quarterly book sales, and again, just, you know, in surrounding communities, I know in the
Yeah,
summertime, they might do it outside, and, you know, they have different ways of doing it, so, you know, that might be exciting. Maybe we could raise more than 6,000 in a new.
We might. I know in the past, what I've heard in the past is that when we've tried to, in addition to the Down Under, do those types of sales, the results hadn't been that good. However, our patrons maybe, you know, were used to just being able to buy whenever they wanted to, so it wasn't maybe as exciting to have this, you know, this opportunity to come and browse. So again, you know, it's a changing, you know, paradigm, and you know, if we are able to use space for the semi, you know, or quarterly sales in the library, it might be, you know, very doable. The one that Gary's, you know, did, like, they were very specialized, like they're
Yeah.
kind of like for the, you know, the high end, you know, so
You know,
which was wonderful. I mean, he
Bonus
did a
night.
really tremendous
Absolutely.
job, and he had the knowledge to, you know, to curate that.
I also feel like there's going to be sort of like the transition period when we're at St. Andrews, and whatever's going to happen while we're there.
Yeah.
And then there'll be like our real lives after we finally get into our new building. So I
Yeah,
think we'll need
right,
a plan
yes.
to help maintain sales for the 18-month
Right.
that we're
Yeah.
at St. Andrews. And then we'll need a plan for ongoing in the rest of the future. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think there's two things: our temporary situation and then our new permanent.
I am anticipating we may be able to go back to taking donations. It just might, while at St. Andrews, I just don't think it'll be on the scale that we had been. So it might be, you can drop off only on Saturday afternoons, and someone has to immediately look through those bins to see what can we add to the library collection, what's good to sell, what's going to go on the free shelf, and what really should have been in recycling. Yeah.
It's a challenge. And I mean, and there's nothing to prevent somebody from just dumping something on the front steps anyways, you know, like.
We will, well, no, security cameras will be inside.
Or we can't like really call the police, like, oh, we dropped books on at the
Yeah,
library.
it depends if upset people.
Serial book dropper offer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it looks like
It's funny.
a bit of a sticky wicket, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
was really surrounding the handling of monies, which we didn't
Yeah,
really
but-
know about, and
Yeah.
but I,
Can Beth call MBLC and get an opinion on that?
I will.
Okay.
oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but that was my
I
understanding.
will call.
But I
Follow
also
up.
will pull the surrounding libraries too, because I
Yeah.
really want to understand what's the
But
common
there's,
practice.
there's
in
what's the common
area.
practice and what's
And
legal.
what's the rule? What's the?
Yeah, and you know, we went to cash registers because there was confusion about money and money maybe disappearing, and I don't think it did. I think it just got, you know, put in the wrong place, and all the money was accounted for. But I feel like the less staff is handling money, you know.
I mean, I definitely think the vending machines are very exciting, and I guess as far as the machine, so again, like, I know you've talked about the vending machines, but I don't feel like I really understand
Yeah.
exactly how it's going to work. So the library will own the vending machines, but then the friends will put the things in there, or do we have to rent the vending machines? Like, I'm just
believe
not clear on that.
They give us the machine, they will sell us the stuff to put in the machine. We can get pretty much whatever we want.
When you say
Put in
they-
What's the fee?
but is
whatever
it us?
company,
Like, but
yeah,
is
whatever
the-
vending company.
But okay, but is
What's
the
the fee?
friend, is the friends the entity that's contracting with the vending machine provider?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when you say us, like,
okay.
I'm not sure what you mean.
If the friends want to be, then yes. If they do not, then it would probably be the library, and we would run it through our library materials revolving account.
Okay. I think that it makes
then
sense
we
for
can-
the
that's
friends
not a
to do
fundraiser.
it, but I would like to take it back to the friends, and then, you know, are there specialty, you know, I guess vending machine companies that specialize in libraries
Yeah.
that the architect has maybe recommended, or
He
do
had
we?
one, yeah.
He ha-
I'll find out who it was.
Okay, that would be very good. So we'll take that on to contact them, and I guess just as far as like, if there's any specifications for the size of the vending machines, you know, I know we have time to. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I think
obviously
they're-
haven't even broken your ground yet on the library, but
Yeah.
but just to kind of think ahead, like, obviously we would need that information to be able to, to move forward with that.
Yeah, so maybe just to wrap up the discussion too is, So it almost seems like for you to go back to the friends board, it would be helpful to at least maybe have an idea of the space so that you guys can start brainstorming on how you want to use it. So do you have the materials you need at least to go back to the? I mean,
Well,
We might have a good schematic now.
yeah, if there's a
Yeah, I
final
There
schematic.
there isn't, this is not computer rendered. It's not in the,
Yeah.
design
And
document.
we do have time. I mean,
Yep.
like, I think really our next, thing is gonna be like the temporary space. So, so once, we're able to get into the temporary space, kind of, work with Aaron to say, okay, this is what we have.
Yeah.
Let's, make it work, and, we'll do that. So, and then, yes, going forward, like, absolutely, we will need to get more information about the vending machine option, and we'd like to, pursue that, because I think that does solve, it solves your concern about the money handling, and it also, it'll help, so then we can focus our volunteer efforts on other things,
Yeah.
too, so.
And it's, you can't rip off a vending machine, as opposed to like a little lockbox.
Don't make that a challenge for something.
Don't say that.
Pick it up and carry it up the door.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It's so
you for
nice
coming
to
to talk
see
with us, Carrie.
everybody, and
Thanks,
again,
Carrie.
Thanks for your
thrilled.
support.
Yeah,
Thank you.
To see you.
okay. Moving right along, we have landscape and garden patch.
I'll just say that things are coming up. They're coming up in the raised beds. They're coming up in the formal beds, and there's positive things about the expansion, and there's negative things about the expansion. And I'm understanding that the raised beds will be moved by the DPW and refilled by the DPW, which was my great concern because I'm not up to it anymore. And then I'll get a crew to help plant, and
Staff are excited to help.
Yeah.
we will plant our beds, and I will go and dig up the herbs that are starting so we can transplant them into the new raised beds when we move. Elsewise, the DPW will just destroy them. The raised bed, or the formal beds, I guess we might lose some products, but overall it'll be a good thing. And
Yeah,
So-
some bushes close to the building may have to go because they're gonna be digging down to provide drainage and sealant
Yep.
on the base of the current foundation. Holly, we might lose some holly,
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's about it.
but not the trees.
We're gonna move the picnic tables, and maybe I'll get somebody to finally clean them and paint them, and just little odds and ends.
Question, Beth. The bench out in front for Jen White, is that in the way, or, I mean,
I don't think so.
You want me to write, when I write the landscaper, ask him?
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
know.
that's not changing,
I was
but I
out
don't
there
know.
the other day, it seemed like it was far enough away, but I mean, we just cemented that in.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how close they need to get to the front of the building
don't
with a
know.
backhoe if they're planning to dig trenches along
Right.
the front.
That means
So
I'm
we
probably
certainly
gonna have to
could,
move the
um,
pathways too.
yeah, so,
Okay,
all right.
okay.
Great, thank you.
That- yeah.
Okay,
When is the anniversary, do you know? Coming up?
Oh gosh, July. I'd have to look up the exact date.
It should be okay, because they'd have to dig up the sidewalk too.
I'm just saying, yeah, but
Right,
if they need to drive a machine.
Yeah,
right, yeah. so
that's a
no-
good
Maybe
question.
Are they gonna they're gonna redo the sidewalks, right? I'm sure they are.
Well, they won't run over it.
No,
They'll move it.
No,
yeah.
what are we talking about?
we just have to make it clear it's
The
Not
bench in front
that
of
it's
the
salvage.
library, if
We
you
want
look at the library on the left-hand side, bench dedicated to Jen White,
Got it.
so
Yeah.
that's
Well,
over
we're, I
there.
mean, we're moving the book drop, so I could just ask for it to be moved.
Right, yeah,
That would
Yeah,
probably
and
be
then
the
there's
safest
one,
thing.
Yeah.
Gale Polar
I would
too.
do it safety,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right. And find somewhere to put it,
because then no one can crash into it by accident.
yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Any noise complaints? I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
Doesn't matter,
No.
space
Yeah, one of my
issues.
staff told me today that a patron told them with a very nice smile on her face that they were the loudest library staff she's ever known.
Wow.
The loudest working library staff. They're a bit taken aback.
Excuse
Well,
me.
she
Can't
was
make it-
clearly talking about you.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
you
the
don't have a
loudest
lib-
one in the
You
building.
don't have a
you know.
library voice. You even told my
No.
kids that.
I know. They were whispering at me, and I was like, "Why are you whispering?"
Yes.
It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Everything you
Comes from the top, you know.
Yeah.
Setting a bad example. All right, space issues. Yeah.
Soon to be solved.
Irrelevant.
Yep. Okay, let's keep on going. Hopefully we don't have space issues in the new place, so. All right. Amnesty for the patrons while the library transition takes place. New business.
Well, actually, it's the
Oh, it
transition.
must be an update. Yeah, so we could not stagger due dates. So we gave everybody 6 weeks, but we couldn't do, like, we just couldn't have them automatically renew. So all the materials are due on the 14th of May. Except for the ones the children's room staff staggered by hand because they missed the memo that we were just picking the 14th of May.
Yes.
So I'm going to have things trickling in, and I would like to ask that we just say, bring your stuff back. You don't need to rush and bring it back the 13th, 14th, 15th. We're going to have all of the delivery, all the people's holds and requests coming back that week and have to deal with that. So I know people are going to be eager to trade their books in for something different, but I would like to say, just get it back before, the end of the month. Can we just waive fines for that next second 2 weeks
Yeah,
of May
once
That
through May
makes
30th?
sense.
we can promote that on social media
31st.
too. That'll help you.
Yeah, it's just,
That's going to be a little crazy there.
I have a question for you about fines. I heard on NPR that there's a lot of libraries moving away from fines. Have you ever thought about doing
Beth
that?
I
has talked
asked
about
Yeah.
that for
every
years.
year. Because I don't think libraries should charge fines. It is a barrier to service. We turn about $8,000 a year to the town, and they give me back this year a $727,000 budget, which is amazing. So I can't quibble that the town is getting the fine money. But it prevents people from bringing materials back. Research shows it doesn't make them bring materials back any sooner. And if you have a guilt jar, they're likely to donate more money than the exact amount that the fines would have been.
So who makes the decision about the fines?
The Board of Trustees would have to bring it, I think, to Finance Committee and the accountant and town administrator. So every year I say, if you will eliminate my turning in fines to the town, I will reduce my budget by $8,000. I will figure out a way to do it. And every year they say no.
Oh, well then.
It's not. I mean,
Arlington, where I live, went fine-free in February. No
The
more
guilt
fines.
jar is acceptable?
I don't know if they have a guilt jar or a donation jar or what.
But then the librarians aren't handling the money anyway, right? So then.
So it's not town money anymore. It becomes library gift account money.
Right.
Oh.
And I feel like when we've done the food for fine,
We could do that year
we've
round.
done really, really well.
Yeah,
I know when I've brought in food, I mean, I don't bring in a can, I'll bring in like a bag of food. So I'm like, I should have paid the fine. It's cheaper for me.
Yeah.
But
So-
I feel like,
So
people-
we would bring that up to the finance committee.
I think the opportunity probably would have been the March 8th budget hearing.
I was about,
Yeah.
so this
There'll
might
be
be
more.
something
There'll
to
be
think
another
of
one.
for next year.
Okay.
next
Yeah,
year's
that's
budget.
definitely a good project.
It would be great to open with no fines.
Yes,
Wow.
wow.
That'd be awesome.
How does the town administrator feel about it? You know.
I don't know. I don't know how the current accountant feels about it. I know
Yeah.
that the last one felt that there should be punishment for having your books late and to keep people accountable.
The librarians who know the business have more to say about that? Okay.
Sure.
Well, if there's
Okay.
research, then we can make a good case.
Yeah, we can get some data. Tim loves data.
Yep.
So we can bring him
We'll
some
use
data.
Yep.
that is always good.
Yeah.
All right, we're at 10 past 8 and would like to wrap up by 8:30. We talked, anything else on fines? Okay.
And we did the lot.
Oh, do we need a motion and to waive fines? Like, I think the board actually does
Yeah.
get to decide that because we vote on food for fines twice a year.
Oh, you mean through the end of
Yeah, to waive
May?
fines for
Yeah.
the end of May.
Right,
Can somebody make a motion?
I make a motion to waive all late fines through the end of May.
Good.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Okay, we talked about library laptops, and then we have a wedding reception at the Grafton Public Library.
Not
Sunday,
mine.
May 19th. Okay.
The other Beth.
You're supposed to bring this to order, not me.
Oh, so I would like for a valued employee is getting married on Grafton Common in May, and would like to have the wedding reception, a private event, at the Grafton Public Library. And our facilities use policy says that such events are at the jurisdiction of the library director with approval from the Board of Trustees and pending filling out of an application to use said space with a $100 facilities use fee. So I would like to propose that since this is a valued employee, we're very excited to have this event. We do make the facility, which is empty, available at no charge to our employee.
We had an event there about 15 months ago. I don't remember what we did for that event.
I think there was supposed, I don't know that, I think that we waived the fee for that, because I don't remember getting a check.
Well, if we
Yeah,
waived the
it was
fee in the
another-
past, then I
I
would
think it's
suggest we waive the
precedent.
fee
Yes.
again.
Well, I would just like to note Beth's contributions to the board every month with us and keeping us up with the minutes and doing a fantastic job. So I agree with your recommendation to waive the fee for her upcoming event.
So do we need a motion? Did we have a motion on?
Yeah, I
we
think
have a
Beth made the
form?
motion, but she's not a board member.
Do we have a form?
Do I need to?
I filled out a form. All right, I left you a form. She filled out the form.
Okay.
Do a second?
No, I think
I-
somebody else needs to make a
All
motion.
right, so I make a motion for everything Beth just said, to allow free use of the empty library on Saturday, May 19th,
I second.
pending application.
I'll
And who
second that.
seconds?
I second.
Any discussion?
Mark? Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The
Excellent.
walkabout, I need to point, I sent everybody, while we're sitting here, a picture of what's going on at the front door above in the ceiling.
Yeah,
Do
I
you see
saw
that?
No.
No, I don't.
she just emailed it not
Did you
long
send it
ago.
on our email, on our?
So that's my walkabout picture for you. If you expand it, there's something funky going on there.
So, I
Oh,
did
you
notice, oh, this isn't what I, this is not what I.
You see it, Beth?
Yeah, is that a mouse hole or
I don't know, I think it's a crack.
Oh, I see.
But I thought I should let you know that.
Yeah, I'll send it right to Ken.
I imagine that could go with the,
Yeah.
bricks and,
Bees.
Windows. You think
Thinking
bees?
bees.
I'm thinking
Really?
bees.
Yeah.
we don't want bees in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
We won't want
I
them
am a
outside.
beekeeper.
Animal science brain thing.
I'm a beekeeper, but I don't want
Wanna look at
bees
it
in
as
the
bees.
building.
Or wasps.
No.
Oh,
Something
God.
flying.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
That was
And
a
if they're
good
not in there, they
spotting.
will be. They love holes like that.
Yeah.
Perfect for them.
Yeah.
Good
So,
job.
Anyway,
Light
um,
bulbs,
Yeah.
though.
so you see it, and that's my walkabout.
Yeah,
Because anything else I would say would be the windows, the bricks, the blah.
right.
Yeah.
But-
which-
This
Yeah.
is important.
The only other
Yeah.
thing I noticed was the old children's room door, and this has probably been like that forever. I just happened to notice it, but the light fixture above that door is held up by like a precarious chain, so it doesn't droop down and fall on someone's head. It's like an
Well, we
ancient
do
chain
have
that-
half
Well,
of
the
that
fixture
in,
is in my office.
Beth has the
Put it
other half of
down.
the fixture in her
Oh, the other half
office.
of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all I see is the bulb. hanging
So,
down.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find somebody who would repair that.
I was
Oh.
gonna give it
Well,
to somebody to drive it somewhere.
Isn't that all part of, gonna be?
to go
can
to
be,
the
yeah, that's
repaired
why I
in the
haven't-
new-
haven't bothered.
In the new renovations, won't that, all that,
I
like,
wouldn't
we don't
think
need
it
someone to
needs
take care of
repairs
it now.
No,
It's empty.
we can wait.
I mean, I think that hole needs.
But I think
Yeah.
we should have somebody look at that hole, what's
Yeah.
going on.
Okay.
And see what's, especially
Or
if
else
it
the
could be
building will
bees or
not be empty
wasps.
very long.
No, it
Yeah.
will not be empty very long.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, they'll
They'll get in there
colonize
quickly.
in there really well. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else in the walkabout? Thank you. So, walkabout, thank you, Beth, for doing that. But generally, I think probably by the next meeting, we should think about a new walkabout committee, maybe one or two people who go with you, right?
I've yet to be
That
able
would
to
be
go
great.
with you. I've yet to be able to.
Okay.
Do we have to do that? Are we gonna have to do that down at the
I think
temporary
I
building
think we
too?
should at St.
We talked
Andrews
about it,
because,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
tenant's responsible for damages.
So can I just ask, regarding the walkabout, now, who is responsible for doing the landscaping, the mowing, is it all gonna be DPW?
At the,
Yeah,
where?
at St. Andrews.
At the temporary
I
space.
assume, but I don't know.
Us?
We don't have tools to do, like mowing. Yeah. And there's no shrubs to trim.
Well, there are,
There are.
yeah, all the front, all those
Oh,
beautiful
really?
things that are blooming right now.
Oh, you up against the building.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
talking about
Well,
you
I don't think we should
like
invest.
driving issue. No, we're not. We're not spending money
Can-
on
Right, I don't, I
didn't
mean, I
know
think.
on
the
what-
raised beds. Yes, but
You need a break.
Not the
unless
raised,
it's a safety issue.
She's gonna have other things to do.
trimming shrubs.
Right, I don't think we should be
Okay. Good, I just
planting or
wanted to
doing
check.
anything at the temporary location.
We're moving the raised beds
Well,
and taking care of those, but
right, but I
Yeah.
mean, as far as,
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
I figured that was it.
Landscaping, grass mowing.
it should be the town.
Okay.
It's the town now.
Has to be, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Is that
Yeah.
something that,
I'll follow up with Andy.
Oh, it's not the tenant? I mean, the landlord?
Well, we don't do our own. The tenant is still town of Grafton. Like, I don't have a lawnmower. We have parks.
No, but who owns the
the
building?
landlord?
The diocese owns the building.
Aren't they gonna be responsible?
They're responsible for nothing, I believe.
yeah,
They have enough
so
money.
maybe it's a Tim question, right, when he worked
That
up.
seems odd, but okay.
I'm pretty sure that we're responsible, but I would say that just like now, it'll be on rotation through DPW or parks to come in
Okay.
and, mow the grass. Snow removal will be through building department like it is now, will be in rotation
Okay,
for clearing and shoveling and ice removal.
all right, thank you.
Can't wait till the winter.
Yeah, it's kind of steep.
Okay, the exciting policy review, the bylaws. So, did you get a good marked up copy now that you were able to download it?
Yeah, I skimmed it. No, oh,
That's a
yes,
PDF.
sorry, that one.
Okay, yeah. So this first question, this first line here, I actually went to the
I want to make it bigger.
Mass General Law, Chapter 78, Section 10, just to see what it was it actually said, because our language there was very confusing. So, and I don't know why you can't see the marked up version there, to see what was crossed out. But essentially the new sentence just says,
Yeah,
the term of office expire a nearly equal number of members as divisible by 3 each year. So it actually says that you have to have a board that number that's divisible by 3. But in our case, that's not the case. So I just changed it so that it said as nearly equal to the number of members divisible by 3 each year. So what they want is to have 2 people terms expiring each year.
Right.
And that's what I try to communicate with that sentence.
So what do you do with the 7?
So you'd have 2 to 3. One year you might have 3 people expiring.
Okay, but does it still say the board shall be composed of 7 members?
yeah, right there.
Ours does, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't.
Is
Because
that
I know
what's
we
happened?
can actually have more members.
Is that what happens now?
Yeah, your terms are staggered.
So we're doing that already, right?
I think
Okay,
so.
good.
You would have to look it up, but yeah. So I changed that.
It's on the website.
So that language makes sense. Then we can accept it as is. The other piece that I changed. Did anybody not get a chance to read through this? Okay. The other part was just about regular meetings. It said like the
Mondays or
first Monday
something,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I said the fourth Wednesday of each month being at 7, unless otherwise posted. There was a large sentence about
Except the May meeting and, yeah,
how we meet after the May vote.
yeah.
And I don't think we really changed that very much. I think maybe because it was on a Monday, they had to change it because the election is on a Tuesday of the month. So since we're the
Well, that
fourth
was the-
Wednesday,
It was like the first or the second,
Yeah.
second date, and now we're near the end of the month too. So it's,
yeah.
So we're
So
good.
I
We're good.
think that language works because we don't tend to change that. And then the last thing that I didn't change, which I wanted to bring up, was when we elect a chairman and a vice chairman. It said that we would do that right after the election. So I've served since July of last year, and I'm happy to continue to serve. But in our bylaws, it says that we usually have, that particular appointment right after the May election. So I don't know that we want to change that language, but going forward, how should we handle that? I think generally it was just kind of like, hey, we need to start thinking about.
it was supposed to be done last May, and we either didn't meet or shifted or forgot.
Yeah,
So that's
Wait.
why it happened in July.
okay.
Yeah.
We always do it in that first, or in June.
Yeah, we usually do it at the June meeting.
And the June meeting
And I
is
think
when
we
we've
didn't meet
always
or
done it.
possibly.
And I think we didn't meet in June, so we did it in July. We couldn't do it in May. Because not everybody was sworn in or were term, I don't know, but we've always done it in June.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Still works.
So I think that still works. And so
Yeah.
then after the May election, then that's what we'll be looking at. So start thinking about if it's something you'd like to put your name in for.
So if we needed to change that fourth Wednesday, we could do that. I mean, let's just say for some
Yeah, you
reason
just
we can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do it. You
Yeah.
know, 6 months from now. This just stands for
Yeah.
Right.
for now.
Yeah, we've changed.
I mean,
it
we've
since
gotten
I've been
used to
here.
it.
It's
Yeah.
no, since I've been here, we've changed it 3 times.
Okay.
So
I'm
and
fine,
it's
I just
very
wondered.
inconvenient to change it all the time.
I just wondered, that's all. I'm happy
Yeah.
with Wednesdays.
Yeah, because I think the language is in there, or any other posted date, so if we need to change,
Yep.
you know, we do that for holidays.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is just saying that
Right.
when it is we meet regularly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't get a chance to look at what the policy committee had set forth for changes probably 6 months ago. But I hope that I
don't
didn't
think-
I hope I
yeah.
didn't miss anything.
I don't think so.
Did you have something, Daniela?
No, the only thing I was looking at was when you, if you ever appoint special committees, it's on
Yes.
page 4.
Yeah.
Article 6, that just really, my experience that even those special committees need a head. And they need a very clear sunrise, sunset, because it says like they should disband when their work has to be completed. Who decides that?
I would say
But
that.
then again,
yeah.
I work with a lot of contentious professors and things, and they
It
argue
can be
forever.
difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But that's just a point of, just a question mark, It may never come up,
I think the language there works okay
Yeah.
in terms of like when the work is done, because then you can, as a board, you say, okay, let's close the committee because we feel that the work
Right.
there is done. We've got the information that we need.
In that case, then it's understood the officers will decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. if
Well,
there's
not
any-
the officers, but the trustees would vote on that. I would
Yeah.
think so,
And say, okay, that's it,
right?
just done.
I don't think it's a special
Mm.
responsibility of the officers, right?
Right.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that we had a ad hoc committee
Uh-huh.
at the hospital after a Sentinel event, and it wasn't the COO or the CEO that decided when it was done. It was when the question was answered by that committee.
Okay.
That committee decided.
Internally.
We've answered all the
Yeah,
questions, submitted the information to the CEO and the COO, and then if they had wanted us to come back, they would have said, you need to review this more, but we concluded we were done.
Yep.
I think that works. But still with this language. And I think special committees don't always have to be board members, right? I don't know if it says it there, but I think I did read that. Special problems. Yeah,
It
maybe
is.
appointed. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Doesn't say they have to be
Yeah.
trustees.
No.
Right? It could be anybody.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Any other edits, comments, questions?
No, you did a great job.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it
looks
didn't
good.
take much work, but thank you for saying so.
Well, probably
For
did
finally
take
pushing
much
it through.
work, but
So I think I'd like to put it to a vote.
All right, and we're voting on content, right? So I can format it so it looks like the rest of the policies with our heading and the font.
yes, you make it look pretty.
Yeah.
We'll do content and you make it look pretty.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the bylaws as edited?
I move to accept the bylaws as edited
Any
for
second?
content.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded, Karen?
All right, what's next?
I thought it was Board of Library Trustees.
Sorry. What did you just tell me something was wrong?
No, yeah. I
Oh,
think
the
the official name of the group is Board of Library Trustees.
Of the Grafton
But-
Public Library.
I don't know.
Oh,
No.
I thought it
Board
was
of
library board of
Trustees.
trustees,
Oh.
but I'm not gonna do
You know,
Good enough. It's great.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll figure it out.
Pretty.
I did look
Okay.
at that as well,
Okay.
Yeah.
but I thought that language was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we did call it bolt for,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bold for a while.
But,
Yes.
oh, that's right, board of, yeah.
Yeah.
T-shirts, bolt.
yeah,
Bylaw.
okay,
But then all the other policies have to be considered.
yeah,
So,
so,
we have 3 minutes.
yeah, so
Okay, so
at this,
bylaws,
at this point, I think we'll probably want to wait to appoint any new subcommittee members. I know you had an interest in work on policy with Beth, so why don't we wait till we have our 2 new elected members? Okay, excellent. So we have
I didn't even send it out. I
director's
have been
report.
doing nothing, but
we have a nice printed version.
I do.
I can look at.
And so I do an infographic every month. A green number means that it went up from February, and red means it went down. So digital circ continues to go up as physical goes down. We have more visitors.
well, physical went up. Physical's green.
What?
What am-
Oh yeah, so it went. I'm looking at the 5-year trend.
Oh, okay.
Physical is creeping down annually, while
I
digital
see,
goes
I
up
see.
annually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we have more circulations last month.
You added items? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot to run the report for what we deleted. 'Cause we deleted over 1,000 last month. I probably did 100 just today. I mean,
And you said the deleted items, I'm sorry, I don't want to extend it, but the deleted items, some are going for sale,
Yeah,
some are
some
going
for
to be
free.
recycled, some
Some
will be
recycled.
free. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Visitors are up.
Visitors are up. Online and in
Visitors online
person.
is up. Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Computer users are down. Reference questions.
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing that museum passes are down. Is that?
Yeah. So somebody said it at this directors meeting I went to, and I went back and looked and went, oh yeah, we have like 17 offerings. We have a ton of museum passes.
So you'll be able to see which ones aren't really being used.
Well, we
Yeah.
did, and I think if I pull up the director's report, the adult services report, Susan called out which ones we're just not using, and then we're trying new ones instead. I think we added Audubon and nobody ever used it, so now we're trying Trustees of Reservations, which has 100 properties statewide, including Cranes Beach.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
a
we
nice
had Lowell
one.
Spinners, and I thought cheap baseball tickets, people will love that.
Nobody goes.
Nobody used it.
Maybe
Lowell's
they
just
know
not close
about
enough, and
When they moved to Worcester,
maybe.
Yeah, and that would be nice for people that can't
Yeah.
afford it.
And we put money into the high demand ones. Everyone wants Davis Farmland and the zoo, Southwick Zoo, and the Southwick Zoo one is expensive. But, and some libraries actually charge the copay, so they buy it and then they sell the tickets for $10 to the patron.
Well,
Not
I
the
don't
library,
think-
but again through the friends.
Right, I don't think we should make any of those
Yeah.
changes right now, but I think
No.
whatever we're trying that isn't working, either substitute or save the money for something
Exactly.
else.
11 passports is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Huge.
That should be green actually. Sorry, I forgot to change the color. Notarizations and passports both
Who's
went
our
up.
notary
Proctoring was solid.
Public.
What?
Who is our notary?
Cindy Zariello is, and Katie Hanna, one of our temps, was a notary when she was in the military and wants to, because she doesn't have the stamp anymore for that job. So she wants to re-up
Nice.
and notarize for us. It's a free
Excellent.
service. Yeah. And then do you want me to go through my report?
No, I think we're passing it around here.
Yeah.
The,
Oh,
the
okay.
yes and
Do
no
you have
log
that
is very
electronic?
nice.
Yes, and I will send it to you.
Okay.
I
thank
also
you.
sent you all the electronic stuff from last month with my
Yes.
advice minutes.
Okay.
I meant to send.
Yeah, would you please email this out?
Yes.
I think the most important thing, at least from a board perspective, is just look at statistics.
Yeah.
And the rest is just icing. I love to hear about what goes on
Yeah.
at the library. So we can read
Yes.
that on our own. Excellent. Thank you, Beth.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Okay, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.